tapping in as well.
Over the top. I mean, that was a full force shot to the temple. I mean, he's right now. So they wipe off his gloves, but you look at him like he's really feeling it right now. I mean, he probably has no idea where he is.
When I'm going to take your soul, and you're either going to give up or you're going to get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter.
Likely that one big shot's going to land if the guy's not throwing other shots. So I thought with less artillery in the air, less bombs in the air, that the guy would have a chance to get to later round.
After the fight, Joshua didn't hold back. He said the early knockout saved Jake from something much worse. It wasn't bragging. He was warning that if the fight had continued, he would have broken Jake down physically, mentally, and emotionally. And a champion calls a quick finish mercy. It shows how dangerous the matchup really was. It's why when Joshua was later asked about fighting Fury, the question felt almost meaningless after what had just happened.
Well, realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time. You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists.
The action split instantly half, calling it a money grab, half saying maybe Jake was ready. But both sides missed the truth. Joshua isn't a test. He's a wallow. Olympic gold, world titles, years at the highest level, while Jake is still building credibility. When that right hand ended the fight, it felt heavy. Simon Jordan called it a dark day, and that reaction wasn't outrage, it was fear. Because once a line like this is crossed, there's no going back.
It's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you that, Jake, what's going to happen? I'm going to see a time when I'm going to take your soul, and you're either going to give up or you're going to get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct...
The legacy talk felt uncomfortable. People asked what this meant for Joshua, but the answer was simple. Nothing but more money and more questions. If the fight had gone to the judges, it would have hurt his reputation, and everyone knew it. So Joshua ended it quickly. The real concern is bigger than legacy. When fights are sold as entertainment, people forget the danger. That night, danger showed up early. Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul shared a ring.
After the fight, I heard the question being posed to Joshua, will he now fight Fury? And then my first thought was, after what I've seen, who cares? After that, who cares if Joshua fights Fury? I like Anthony Joshua immensely, Spencer. Any exchanges I've had with him, I think he comes across terrifically well. But I fail to see where it's taken us, where it's taken him, other than hugely increasing his bank balance. You know, I really fail to see what this has done.
Well, it's done nothing, but he was going to fight in November, like I said, and he's just gone in there against Jake Paul. What has it done for his legacy? Absolutely zero. But it was, you know, he's earned a lot of money doing that. And he's going to go again, and he's going to fight possibly February, March. And then there's that Tyson Fury fight that's looming that could happen in September, whether Tyson Fury decides to come out of retirement or not come out of retirement. For Anthony Joshua, he's earned a hell of a lot of money. This is prize fighting, and that's what it's all about. And that's
Logan doubled down afterward, and his words were more ominous than they first sounded. He called Joshua one of the most athletic heavyweights ever, moving like a middleweight in a heavyweight's body. That alone should end any crossover fantasies.
More than Joshua. That apart, Spencer, 6 rounds to get Paul out of there. Reputationally, how does it leave AJ?
Well, thankfully it didn't go to points, because I think that would have been a disaster for Anthony Joshua. I think that he needed to get the job done inside the distance, you know, and he done it. Look, he could have done it at any given point. I think that he could have cut the ring off whenever he wanted to and got Jake Paul out of there. He took his time on that. He allowed Jake Paul to run around like a rabbit and throw the occasional shot from time to time. And I think he only landed one clean punch, didn't he, Anthony Joshua? And that was the one that broke his jaw in 2 places.
But I mean, you said, did you not, to us in this very studio the other day, he's got to get him out of there in round 1.
I did.
Otherwise, what are we seeing?
Exactly that, you know, and I think what we saw there was a little bit of entertainment, and that was pretty much it, but not not entertainment that many people enjoyed, if I'm honest. I think that people...
Speed and knockout power come together. There are no learning curves, only endings. Rogan even said putting Jake or Logan in that ring makes no sense, yet people still talk as if it's inevitable.
This is a giant Olympic gold medalist heavyweight. I mean, Anthony Joshua is fucking
He is the
terrifying.
thing that nightmares are made of.
And he's got that one-punch nuclear power.
Adam Booth briefly gave Jake credit, noting moments of ring IQ, but quickly brought it back to reality once Joshua adjusted. It was over. That's the scary part. Improvement didn't save him, and it won't save the next guy. Talk of Logan Paul followed, and analysts shut it down hard, calling it reckless and embarrassing. Comparing the brothers only underlined the truth. Jake at least takes boxing seriously, but even that has limits. By the end, people tried to frame the fight as either damaging to boxing or a sign Jake deserved respect.
Share the ring. Your takeaways from the 6 rounds that we saw, presuming you watched?
I was impressed with Jake Paul. I thought that, following on from what we're saying, right? A few years ago, he was on Disney as a kid, acting up, and has decided to become a professional fighter. That takes balls, but he's obviously striving to be as good as he can be. You can see that in the way that he moves, the way that he is developed in how he's punching and performing. But to make a 2-time world heavyweight champion that's still live, AJ's still got something about him, to make him miss in such an accomplished manner. All right, so at times he was jumping out and running around, but there were times when he was well in range and still making AJ unable to land a clean, solid shot. He deserves a lot of respect for that. And then the shot that actually finished the fight, that broke his jaw quite badly, didn't put him out. That shot he threw with serious intention has put a lot of professional heavyweights to sleep. He didn't go to sleep. He actually finished on his knees, didn't he? Laughing and spitting blood out of his mouth. So, like they say, it's a special type of crazy and a special type of brave to do it. But I actually, hats off to him, because he showed that he's developing some accomplished little skills in there to look after himself. The size difference is always going to fatigue him.
I know everyone will come with the idea that, AJ should just go in there 1 round and smash him to bits, and that should be it was a big ring, right? Perhaps he could have cut the ring off a bit better, but would I be right in saying that regardless of skill level, if you forget about that with the 2 for a second, if someone is on the back foot on their bike and doing what Jake was doing, it's difficult no matter who you are, no matter the kind of separation in skill level.
It's a big ring, and you've either got to run at him and look like a novice yourself, or just take your time.
Both can be true and still end badly. Power, experience, and skill always win. What's unsettling is how calm everyone sounded afterward, like this was expected. That's why it doesn't feel over. It feels like something bigger is still unfolding, and the real reckoning may not even be about a fight.
Would be more of a mismatch than Jake Paul. You know what I mean? Because at least Jake Paul has taken boxing, or has trained with real boxing trainers in real boxes. Whereas Logan Paul, he did that exhibition with Floyd, and Floyd's a little guy. Not saying a little guy can't thump, because Floyd really gave him some 2 pieces with no sides, right? But at the same time, you take his friend, Floyd's friend, Anthony Joshua, and get hit by him and see what happens. The same thing. Probably worse, because I think Logan, he's a little taller than Jake. And because he's a little taller than Jake, he may think he's a little stronger than Jake. Which I don't know which one's true or not. I don't think it makes a difference. But because he may feel that way, he may want to go in there and try to bang it out with AJ. And if that happens, it's going to be a lot quicker. See, that 6 rounds it took AJ to finally catch Jake. It took that way because Jake was on that bicycle, moving, being elusive, trying to come in and then come out. He tried to do a very poor man's Alexander Usyk, right? And it didn't work for him. Logan ain't gonna do that. Logan's gonna come in throwing punches and bunches like he did with Floyd, trying to get him in there and, do all this stuff. And what's going to happen, as soon as AJ lines him up, sets his punch, he's going to hit Jake, and he's going to break Jake down.